Hello, guys. You can't have your cake and eat it too, right? You can't have your cake and eat it too. When you play youngsters, when you play inexperienced players, when you play new players, um, there's a risk, right? There's a risk benefit consideration, and we know what the risks are, and we're hoping that we're going to reap the benefits. Not today, certainly not today, hopefully in the future. Guys, listen, welcome back to the channel. Before I continue, please subscribe to my channel for daily Chelsea content. Um, Before we get into the game, let's talk about, first of all, pay our respects to the legend Gianluca Vialli, who passed away a couple of days ago after a long battle with cancer at the age of 58. He was a Chelsea, legend. His record speaks for himself. I mean, you've seen, a number of goals that he scored as a forward for Chelsea. Those of y'all who started following Chelsea after Roman took over Chelsea, be assured that there was some history. There was a lot of history prior to Roman. In the pre-Roman era, there was a history. Chelsea was winning silverware before Roman, and Gianluca Vialli was a massive piece of Chelsea's success story prior to Roman. And he was Chelsea's manager for approximately 3 years. I believe somewhere between 96, 97 and 2000 or so. And during that time, Vialli won Chelsea 5 trophies. He won Chelsea the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Community Shield, the Cup Winners' Cup, and the UEFA Super Cup with a massive 1-0 win over Real Madrid. So rest in peace to the big man, Italian legend Vialli. You are sorely missed, and we hope that your soul rests in perfect peace through God's grace. Amen. Guys, let's get to the game. Today's game, Chelsea lost again 4-0 against City in the third round of the FA Cup. It's our first exit in the third round of the FA Cup since 25 years ago when we lost 5-3 to Man U. So, guys, it is what it is, guys. As I mentioned earlier, you can't eat your cake and have it too, right? When you play youngsters, there's going to be some cost benefit here. There's going to be some cost benefit. Potter is caught in between a rock and a hard place. Let me say that again. Potter is caught in between a rock and a hard place. What do I mean? Well, what I mean is Chelsea has 10 players out. Okay? He has 10 players. He has roughly about half of his lineup. And we're talking about experienced players. We're not talking about youngsters. We're talking about 10 of his experienced players are out. And so what that means is, in as much as I'm sure that Potter definitely would have loved to have played whatever is left of his experienced players in this FA Cup, the truth of the matter is he just had to make a choice. He had to make a choice. He had to play a lot of the youngsters that he played in today's game. Now, where I will fault Porter is, for me personally, Porter should not have started the young man Humphreys in a central defense. I mean, that's a critical area where you don't want to start a youngster against arguably still the best club in England, if not definitely one of the best clubs in Europe, and arguably for me, they're still the best club in England, regardless of the fact that they're currently in second place in the league. So and and you all saw Humphreys was continually dragged out of position pretty much throughout the entire first half. If he was going to start Humphreys in defense, he really should have started with a back five, so that way the young man would have had a little bit more protection. But hey, you live and learn. It is what it is. I personally I would have liked to have seen Chukwuemeka start this game, and again, the fact that he did have some injuries to the senior players, pretty much tied his hand in some of the decisions that he didn't make. But as I mentioned, when you bring in Porter, all right, and you seeing what he did at Brighton, and you know that Brighton is not an overnight success. You just have to. The easiest thing for us to do right now is to jump all over Potter, criticize him, and ask for him to be fired. That doesn't take much brain power, right? I mean, all you have to do is point at the results. But one of the toughest things that you want to do is to, when you're in the midst of a hurricane, because that's what we are right now. When you're in the midst of adversity, is to dig deep, and look for the little wins. Dig deep and look for the little wins. Okay? And that's what Potter needs to be doing right now. That's what we as Chelsea fans need to be doing right now to support Potter and Chelsea. Okay? That's our role. For me, personally, I have faith in Potter, and I hope that the ownership gives him time and space to implement his program, because his program needs time to be implemented. And what you're seeing today, what you've seen today, today's 4-0, I'm not saying this is the only evidence, but what is one more reminder of cumulative cumulative punishment or price. The word is price. The cumulative price that we as a club, Chelsea, have paid and are still paying for our our policy of hiring and firing over the last 20 years. Now, of course, it didn't have its benefits, and we're not all complaining, but at the same time, it also did have its cons. And one of the adverse factors from our hiring and firing policy is that it did not allow the club to have an identity and a unique sufficiently enough to build up a unique way of playing. Okay, and in order to do that, you're gonna need, the management needs to pick a manager, stick with a manager that they believe in, build a platform, a backroom staff around that manager to bring in the players that fit that manager's philosophy, and then implement that. Once that gets set, then the club would then have a platform to move forward, knowing the exact type of manager to continue that program moving forward. That's something that Chelsea does not have. We don't have that. On the flip side, that's what Pep Guardiola has done for City. All right, that is that is the point I'm trying to make. Obviously, I'm not. Don't hold me right now. I'm not in my widest imagination trying to compare Pep and Graham. No, what I'm trying to do is to point out the different approaches between Chelsea and City. Okay, because in both clubs you have ownership that had money, and one ownership was basically patient, right? They're patient. Pep still has not won the Champions League. Jose won. Jose's first 3 years of Chelsea, he won everything except the Champions League, and he was let go. So that's I mean, that's just to give it, and we're still paying that price of impatience. That's what I'm trying to say. A club needs a relative amount of patience to sufficiently lay down its philosophy, its footballing philosophy as a club, so that the club understands the exact type of players that fit into the identity, the philosophy, and that would then make it easier, somewhat easier, to transition players in and out of the club and transition managers in and out of the club that will fit the club's footballing philosophy like a glove. For me, I believe that is what I'm hoping, that is what the Todd Bowley Group and Graham Potter are in the process of implementing. And if that is what is being done, then we as fans have to be patient. We have to be patient. These results are going to come and go, but with time and with patience, these poor results are going to become fewer and fewer, and there's going to be brighter days ahead. Okay, so guys, that's the purpose of this video. There's nothing to analyze in a game where we lost 4-0 and we were poor. Okay, you all watched the game. We all watched the same game. So this one is one of those games. It is what it is. You roll it up and you flip it in the dustbin. It's time to move on to our next game Thursday, I believe, away at Fulham, and that's going to be a rough game. It's a big game. We need 3 points. Fulham is actually in front of us in the league table, where we're currently planted in 10th place, and we need 3 points. It's going to be all hands on deck. It's going to be a battle. It's a London derby, so that's where the focus is, and it should be. This one was what it was always gonna be, and so we just have to just keep it moving, guys. Guys, feel free to comment below, share this video, and like my subscribe to my channel for daily Chelsea content. Take care. God bless you all. Peace.